We're on the road.
On the road today and deal hunting. Out there in the beautiful open road, going to look at deals. And why is this important? I think one of the most important things of actually getting out of your comfort zone, getting on property, is sometimes you see things or you find out information that you're not going to find out through an email or a text with the broker. Classic example, 2015, we did a 281 unit deal. It was owner financed with a down payment. The deal didn't look good at 13 million bucks. That's what it was being offered at. We ended up closing on the deal at 11 million and it had 20% down payment from the owner, so 20% owner financing. We put zero into the deal. If we would have taken the initiative, gone out, got on site, built rapport with the owners, and those few extra steps, that would have never happened. So I think it's really important. Look, I'm not saying fly out of your market. If you live in New York and you invest in Texas, obviously that's not reasonable. But when you're in Texas and you live in New York and you're visiting properties or you're meeting with brokers, look at as many deals as possible. You don't know what's going to happen. That one time you actually got on property, you saw that one thing that wasn't going to come through with the offering memorandum, or the broker, you actually have a phone call and just emailed you the package. Sometimes you got to get out there and get boots on the ground.
Even if you know that this deal is not going to go for you, the numbers don't make sense for you, or it's out of your range, if you're just moving into a market or if you're living in the market, you want to really keep a strong pulse on what's going on in the market and actually take the time to walk the deals to get a good feeling, because you never know when the deal's going to come up that's just a couple miles away from the ones that you walked a few months back, and now you know what the comps look like and you have something to base that off. And it's more than just looking at numbers on a computer screen, right? A lot of times the stuff you're seeing in the offering memorandums are the nice pictures, right? All the advertisements on the computer are the nice pictures, but when you get there, it could be an entirely different story. It could either look nicer than it does in the pictures, or it could be a whole lot worse than it does in the pictures, right? The yard could be all torn up, there could be a ton of down units, there could be a lot of different things going wrong with the property. You also don't get a good feel for what the tenants look like. When you actually take the time to drive the properties, you get the chance to interview the tenants and connect with them on a one-on-one basis and learn what they like about the property, what don't they like about the property, what kind of tenants are they? Are they hanging out? Are they having barbecues by the pool? Are they causing trouble? What kind of tenants are on the property? So I think that there's just a number of reasons that it's so important that you're doing this, not just basing your decisions on just the numbers, but actually taking the time to walk the properties and get a good feel for the area.
We just passed Benny the Stump Grinder. See Benny the Stump Grinder. You're in Knoxville, you need a good stump grinder, call Benny. He's good.
Benny the Stump Grinder?
So the other thing is we've been on properties before, and the tenants will see you and literally they'll start to come out of their apartments and they'll just kind of start lurching towards you. And when you start getting the tenant lurch and they start saying, are you with the management? Are you with the ownership? That is a red flag that these people are being underserved. Sometimes that can be an opportunity though, so don't let that scare you off.
Yeah.
But that's learning. You're learning more about the property, kind of what's going on. Those tenants are obviously not being taken care of. So look, at the end of the day, you're going to learn. And maybe the deal we go look at now is not the one, but maybe we build some additional rapport, the broker sees we're serious, and he says, well, I have another one that maybe not listed right now, and I can show you that one. Right. You never know what's going to come from it.
What about the smell of the properties? What are you looking for with the smell of the properties?
The smell of opportunity in apartments is rotten fruit and cigarettes. If you want to talk about an underserved apartment, you get the rotten fruit and cig smell. Look, you can't overpay for rotten fruit and cigs, but there's definitely opportunity to turn something around when you get hit in the face.
You don't get this from the OM. They can't put smell in the OM. Right?
And this is something that the world doesn't know about. This needs to be, look, we got to get this out there. Rotten fruit and cigs is a smell of opportunity. You might gag, you might puke, but there's money on the other side of that. I really like these things out back. They like the closed-in porches.
They got a little tennis court.
It's in. Did you get this parking lot sealed and striped? This place is gonna pop.
I like the colors too. I like the shutters, kind of have a contrast.
And guys, Sean, if you can get this right here, when you see WM in Knoxville, guaranteed overpaying. These guys charge double for trash. So this is a owner that's not looking at expenses right now. We already know the water's high. Waste management is an opportunity every time you come on property. So we just toured this property, really pumped about it. Contiguous parcel, 130 some odd units, C-class, really clean, and seems to be priced effectively. We were just walking in, and we had some West Coast investors walking out. So I guess the hope is at this point that the thing doesn't just get bid up because people are hunting deals right now and just get silly with it. But I love it. I'm in if we can get it for the right price.
Yeah, everything checked out. There's already a lot of renovations done on the property. It's your perfect C-class, C+ asset where you can move in there. It's a safe place. They said that the fire department, the police department are recommending people, they're referring people daily and weekly to move in there. It sounds like all the marketing's getting done organically. Definitely some room to add value, right? We could pave the lot. There's a few areas where we can do some extra work with the amenities.
Paint scheme is weak right now.
Yeah, paint scheme's weak, but it would only take a couple, just a little bit of fine tuning would go a very, very long way with that property to market it. And I'd say that there's room to bump the rents too.
Well, here's the thing, big units, right? So really big units. So the cool thing about that is that there's a low rent per square foot going on right now. So if you creep that up, you only have upside on that. But if there's a downturn in the economy or whatever, and you buy actuals right now, you're insulating yourself and making yourself more recession resistant because of that. So I like the good sized units. It gives you flexibility in the pricing if you need it.
Yep. I was thinking by the pool, you could put some nice red chairs out there by the pool, right? Kind of get some nice marketing shots.
Spruce it up a little bit. Yeah, it's a little dated.
The tennis court, you either turn that into a playground or you make that, kind of bring that back to life.
Something to be done there for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't have my exact ideal vision for it, but I think there's something there that can be done.
And there's room for a dog park, or something like that.
Gino would say put storage units in it.
Put some storage units in it.
Storage units in the fenced-in tennis court. Yeah.
You got the washer and dryer hookups too, so that's another income.
This is when it starts
generator.
to become the apartment homes. You get the washer and dryer hookups, maybe add a little storage to the property, and you have good large-sized units. So I think that's what I love about it. I think that's a great point. Whenever you see washer dryer hookups in a C-class property like that, it's extremely desirable for long-term tenants.
Well, they said that one lady just moved out. She's there for 20 years.
It showed too.
And that's a townhome. She had top and bottom floor. She took pride of ownership and lived there for 20 years. So
there's almond outlets and switches, and then there's almond outlets and switches, and these were almond outlets and switches. And these things are old, right?
Yeah, that's true. And also the property management there was great. I mean, that goes a long way too. She seemed like she's really good. She's on it. She seems like she has good integrity and really, really cares and puts a lot of pride into what she does day in, day out. So, for her to take that over, I think it's definitely worth considering keeping her on there.
So Uncle Sean's got us here in Big Ed's, which is a historic pizza spot for Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Just looked at some deals.
The anchor tenant. The anchor tenant.
The only tenant of this building, I think. But we're excited to. Sean, who's our guy? One bite, everyone knows the rules. El Presidente, right? So we're gonna do a little bit of one bite, everyone knows the rules.
Start with the pepperoni. It's the way you judge pizzeria. You gotta try pepperoni.
And D-Dog doesn't like it too hot, so we'll see what they come up with. But second deal that we just looked at, not as interesting. First one, into it. You want to grade it too?
So.
All right, so this is.
It's hot. It's hot. We gotta give that a minute.
I got the sauce burns.
Grease, man. Off to a good start.
We're giving a tribute to El Presidente. One bite, everyone knows rules. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this, man. Let's go.
Oh, you can't even catch it right now. You're gonna have to give it a minute. Oh, and we got some more bruja. Kind of reminds me of like a step up from high school. 6.2.
This is like the upstate New York pizza, but it's like probably the best you're gonna get in upstate. So I'd say I'm going with the 7.2.
Dude, you're like totally out of this world right now. This is good. This is enjoyable, but this is not being a 6.2. Big Eddie, Uncle Sean.
Big Ed. Smoking the blunt. All right, so we're on our way back now. We caught some Big Ed's to celebrate a successful day. Big Ed's Pizza, guys.
6.3.
Got to check out the local pizza, local restaurants. Get a good feel for the area. Today was good, though. I'd say that the first place we looked at, beautiful place. We liked everything about it. It's one that we definitely want to win, and we're just really eager to go home, run the numbers, and figure out what our strike price is going to be. Second place we looked at, Wasn't a big fan. The second place had very small units. So that's a challenge. You have to think to yourself, where's the room to add value in this property? And when you come across a property that has smaller units, say 450 square feet, especially here in Tennessee, it's really hard to find that much you can do with it. Even if the area gets better, even if as more people move in, even if they start building new product in the area, the units aren't going to get any bigger. So there's only so much that you can do to make that place nicer. So that was where we were kind of capped off. Unless we can get it at a price where cash flow is really good from day one, it just isn't going to make sense for us.
I think the inside of this Range Rover might have been bigger than a few of those units we looked at. Like,
yeah.
It was just, you went in there and there was nowhere to go, right? And so I think, like you were saying earlier, you're going to churn a lot. People are going to be in, they're going to be out as soon as they can. It's not going to be a long-term fit. There's going to be turnover like crazy. Going back to the first one, big units, washer-dryer hookups, families can live in these homes for a long time. Retention, good play. Second one, you know, if it's going to cash flow like a 10 cap, and you just want to hold it, it's going to work fine. But I'm not buying a 6.5 cap of this, you know, 330 square foot, 500 odd, you know, rental.
And that's the thing, right?
You know, like,
the rents were good. The occupancy was good on that second place we walked. So from a purely numbers perspective, if all you're looking at is just the numbers
it still
itself,
doesn't scratch though. Like even if you look at it, the numbers on paper don't work for what they're asking for.
they're asking, yeah.
So I mean, if you gotta you know, knock the price way down. It's just there's just nothing there. Like I want to go see it. Going back to what we said, I wanted at least, we're gonna be up here already looking at another deal. Let's get on site, take a look. It was kind of fun getting to see it. I enjoyed Big Ed's a lot more than I did the second property, but it was still worth our time, right?
Yeah, and it also taught us that if the numbers are, they're getting that much rent for those small units on that property, then there's probably room for us to increase the rents on our property, because the rents only had maybe $200 in difference when our units are twice the size.
What did you say
they have
when we
multiple
pulled in?
bedrooms.
What did you say to me when we pulled in?
When we first pulled in.
Why the hell would you live here if you could live at the other place?
Yeah. Why would you live there for $100 more? The one bedroom was $100 more, and it was 800 square feet versus 350 square feet for $100 more. The only reason someone's going to move there is because they're making just enough money where they have to save that extra $100 a month, or because the smaller units are having better marketing, and that seems to be the case.
Or they go in there and the smaller units are accepting less desirable renters. So think about that. They're
That's
making
true, too.
concessions because they don't have a good enough place. So they're taking in, you know, people that maybe really shouldn't be, or maybe can't afford $500 or $600 a month,
Right.
Because their place isn't desirable and they gotta stretch their standards. That's the other thing you run into.
They don't have the income on paper. They don't have the credit score to justify it. And I think maybe they're working as waiters, waitresses, or they're getting paid in cash, and they just need
And then, so what is that?
easier to get in
so
there.
what the initial problem we talked about was turnover. You turn units over more frequently. That's going to lead to more of that, and that's what you don't want.
Yeah, it's not a desirable living place long term. You can't live there if you're in a relationship. You'd be sleeping on top of each other, walking around, bumping into each other all day. You can't live there for more than a year. As soon as they're making an extra couple $1,000s a year, or they can apply credit-wise to move to a nicer apartment, they're out of there. So that's the big thing you got to look at, the small units.
It's not New York City. There's larger size apartments here, and there's more availability. So you're not going to be cramming in like that.
Yeah, you're in the middle of. It's not even like we're in the main city of Knoxville. Right? There's fields, there's grass fields all around us, and they're cramming you to 350 square feet.